This is a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, Way 31 is rocking all right. With Nolan, Lyndon, Max, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A battle in the Sand Mountain region tonight for our big game. Friday night game of the week, a Marshall County rivalry between Arab and Boaz.
Well, for our rivalry game of the week, we head to Ardmore for a Limestone County rivalry between the Tigers and a West Limestone. Welcome into Big Game Friday night, everyone. I'm Nolan Knight here with Max Cohan, and believe it or not, tonight marked the final week of the regular season. The playoffs begin next week.
And the season has flown by. Just because the playoffs are next week doesn't mean we didn't have games that mattered this week.
Yeah, that's right, Max. Our Big Game Friday night game of the week. That's a perfect example. We head to Boaz, where the Pirates were hosting Arab tonight with bragging rights on the line. Our Xavier Wary takes us through the fun.
We travel to Boaz as the 7-3 Pirates host the 7-2 Arab Knights. And Arab would get off to a scorching start. On their first possession, James Johnson would roll right and dump it off to Dakota Neesmith, who had no problem doing the rest as he cuts it upfield deep into Boaz territory for a huge first down. Then a few plays later, Johnson takes the snap, follows his blockers, and fights his way into the end zone for the early 7-0 lead. And on the next Arab possession, Johnson pitches it to Hayden O'Reilly, who dodges a defender, stiff arms another, bounces off one more before he's brought down in the end zone. Arab up 14-0. Still in the first quarter, Johnson fires it to Drew Puccio, who gets a key block, and Puccio would make his way up the field, evading defenders before he was brought down around the 5-yard line. However, Boaz had some fight in them as Carter Lambert hands off to Elijah Jacobs, forcing a few defenders to miss as he gained a first down for the Pirates. But it was all Arab in this one as Joshua Rowe picks off the pass and cruises his way into the end zone for 6 as Arab took a 38-7 lead into halftime. In Boaz as the Arab Knights just defeated the Pirates 45-15. I'm with Arab's head coach Lee Osmond. Coach, it was a wire-to-wire victory. You all got off to a scorching start. What was working so well for you all tonight?
Well, our kids came out, played hard. One thing we've done all year long and really for the last 2 years is we play the way we practice, and we had a really good week of practice. I could tell Tuesday that we were gonna get our legs under us, and we did. We started off a little slow the first drive. We kind of went backwards a few plays, and then it hit. And it was kind of a spark, and it caught on fire, and it went over to special teams and defense. And proud of these guys, proud of how they played. I mean, it was one of those complete ball games that you need. And it's good to see before you get in the playoffs. It's one of those games where just the pieces of the puzzle fit.
Again, in the final score, and this one was 45-14 as the Arab Knights defeated the Boaz Pirates. From McCurry Big Game Friday night, I'm Xavier Wary, Way 31 Sports.
So a big win for the Knights. They head into the playoffs with an 8-2 record.
Yeah, that's right. Arab was fighting for a region title at one point with Fort Payne for that spot, and tonight the Wildcats were back in action. But before we get to that game, the Wildcats were taking on North Jackson. 2 playoff teams facing off here. We'll pick up with North Jackson trying to get something going. Dalton Korn there with a nice run, sneak inside rather. Here it is, more sneak inside. This time it's a throw to the outside, just trying to dink and dive their way down the field. Darton Morris back to pass now, and it's to Macklin Guess for the North Jackson first down, but the drive would end. Fort Payne goes to work. Now it's Jake Barnes with the 55-yard connection to Ricardo Adams, and he's got nothing but fresh air in front of him. Then later on, another score for Fort Payne. This time it's Caden DuBois, 56-yard touchdown run. Fort Payne, they looked good tonight. They get to win 32-7. They enter the postseason with some momentum, but there's more to this game than just the final score. How about Auburn commit Alex McPherson, who ties the Alabama state record for the longest field goal in state history, 61 yards. Of course, his big brother, Evan McPherson, he had a couple of game winners for the Bengals this year, but a big congrats to Alex for his big leg. And another Sand Mountain region score coming at you right here. took it to Scottsboro last night, 45-7, as they prepare for a playoff run following that loss a couple of weeks ago.
At Grissom tonight, the Tigers found themselves facing off against Hazel Green in a Madison County rivalry. Both teams struggling this year, but a chance to win tonight at Louis Cruz Stadium. Grissom looking to get things going. Rinzo Kircher back to pass, and he finds Tristan Graham all alone. Graham could have Brer called his way in for this one, but Hazel Green would have a response in Anthony Harbin. He's going to scramble on this one, first to the right and then circles back to the left, and he finds a seam and has all sorts of room. He picks up a massive gain for the Trojans, but the Trojans wouldn't stop there. Harbin again. This time he's going to find Ian Thomas, who picks up another first down for the Trojans, as this game was back and forth for a while, but in the end, Grissom takes it 40-34. While at Madison City Stadium, it's senior night with Bob Jones hosting Prattville. The Patriots will be making their first playoff appearance since 2018, but they had to get through Prattville first. Quarterback Rayshon Hardy having some difficulty with the defense there. They'd be forced to punt, and that would end up in a Lions touchdown as they fumble and recover it. Now with the lead, E.J. Osley lets one rip to Cameron Shanks, and just like that, the Lions are up 2 scores. But the Pats came out looking to respond. Hardy goes over the middle to KJ Fields for a Bob Jones first down. Then Hardy decides to dial his own number, zigging and zagging through the defense to get the Pats on the board. But the effort wouldn't be enough as the Lions take this one 43-31.
All right, well, let's take a look at some more scores from 7A Region 4. Huntsville finished up their season tonight on the road at Decatur, taking a 21-7 victory, while Albertville was at home tonight in a big-time rivalry matchup against Gunnersville. But it's the Wildcats who take this one 49-28. Meanwhile, at Gardendale last night, Florence fell on the road at 27-14, and at Muscle Shoals, the Trojans finished their season 9-1. What a season they put together as they finished their year with a win over 7A Sparkman 42-7. And although we have so many talented teams, not all of them can make the playoffs. For example, Danville had a chance to finish their season 500 with a win against Lawrence County tonight, despite missing out on the playoffs this season.
So let's head to Morgan County. Danville with the ball and driving. It's going to be Gage Taylor rolling to his right, and he connects with Cole Randolph, who makes the bobbling catch to set up first and goal. What a snag from the wide receiver. A couple plays later, the Hawks find the end zone. It's Taylor on the sneak, 7-0 Danville, and they would add to it. In the red zone again, it's Randolph, but this time he's in for the score as the Danville Hawks run away with it tonight, but it's Randolph finding Dylan McCleskey all alone in the back of the end zone. Danville moves to 500 with the 35-28 win.
All right, one last chance to take the field. That was kind of the theme for this week. Pell City on the road taking on Nate Jemison, a chance to leave it all out there for the Jags seniors. But Pell City, they came to play tonight. Baylor Smith back to pass, hooks up with Kentrell Borden, and look at that kid go to work, breaking tackles, forcing his way into the end zone for the score for the Panthers, and they would add to their first half lead. Smith back to pass again, that time Carlos Heron working his way to the pylon, a few inches short. Pell City would score on the next play. Nate Jemison would then try to get back in the game, an option for Kel Woods, pitches it to Cameron Montgomery down the sideline, but he steps out of bounds. Still a big game in the end, though. It was all Panthers. The Jags finished their year with a loss 50-27. All right, well, we're just now getting started with the fun here on Big Game Friday night.
But when we come back, we hear from our first time out, we talk to Big Game Friday Night rivalry game of the week. There we go.
That's right, Wes. Limestone at Ardmore tonight in a Limestone showdown. You guys ever seen a Wildcat and a Tiger wrestle in the mud? We got it for you next.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on Way 31. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Wildcats! Go Wildcats! It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. It's the final week of the regular season, and with playoff spots already secured, this week was really all about bragging rights.
That's right. Nothing better than knocking off a county rival like Ardmore tonight when the Tigers were taking on West Limestone. So we welcome in Antonio Macbeth to preview that matchup.
That's right. Whoever's going to win this one, they have to get it done in the nasty, wet weather. And I kind of feel like that plays into Ardmore's hands, the way they like to run the football already with the Wildcat. Their quarterback, big number 44, already instrumental in the run game. However, defense needs to play ugly just like the weather, right? You need to force turnovers, create tackles, wrap up, hit people at the line of scrimmage, and get the ball back for your offense. And then make the most of your opportunities on offense. Don't turn the football over. Make sure you're catching the ball and securing it in this wet weather. Those are big keys to winning this game.
All right, well, let's see how it all played out at Ardmore after a scoreless first half. The Wildcats would try to push the ball down the field, and they get a huge reception here to bring West Limestone inside the red zone. Then later, 3rd and 10 on the 39. Quarterback Colin Patterson connects with Tucker Weatherford for a big gain. He's inside the 20, and that would lead to a West Limestone field goal, as this game was a battle back and forth all night. But it would be the Ardmore defense that would impress, coming up with the big pick there. But that would be the only turnover for the Wildcats. Ball close to the end zone. Patterson tries to connect, but it's intercepted. Brody Dunn with the pick. He's into the end zone, and that would be the only touchdown of the night. It's the Tigers who win this one in a battle, 7-3. So there you have it. Ardmore gets the win to finish out their season, and we were able to meet up with head coach Jonathan Snyder after the game.
Man, we feel good. Our kids, it's been a long time since we made the playoffs, 2013, and, we could have easily been satisfied with just making it, and they came to work this week and, got a victory tonight, and, that's one of those things that we talk about. We talk about keep playing tough, keep being resilient, and these kids are. It's a really, really good feeling.
Antonio, that was one excited coach after the win.
What's your big takeaway from this one after the Tigers come away with the win on the final week of the regular season?
Well, it's the play that Brody Dunn made. I mean, you expect him to make it as the Wildcat quarterback, right? But he intercepts the ball on defense. That's right, he plays both ways. So I'm not surprised Ardmore got this done. It's just great to see Brody Dunn making plays on both sides of the ball.
All right, thanks, Antonio. We'll catch up with you later on in the show to talk a little bit of college football.
Moving along now at Discovery Middle School tonight, an impressive Priceville team was in action against the JP2 Falcons. Just before the half, the Bulldogs hold a 21-point lead, but they're looking for more. Jackson Prickett looks to the sideline and has William Baker wide open. He doesn't nail the balancing act, and so that stops the clock, leaving the Bulldogs another chance to go deep. One pass is cool, but the Bulldogs say, let's try two. Both are completed, but Joey Robisco is nowhere near the end zone, and the second quarter ends there. Then the Falcons are on the move to start the second. Luke Mayo threads the needle to Angelo Hunter, who shows off the toe tap for a big gain, but that drive would stall and Priceville would force a turnover on downs. They take advantage on the very next play. One move and he's gone. Mason Cartry showing off that track speed as the Bulldogs run away with this one, capping the Falcons' winless season with a 55-0 loss.
All right, how about a little Madison County matchup now? Westminster Christian in action at home tonight against Lee, and the atmosphere was great following that Wildcats volleyball state championship, but the football team would find themselves working from behind in this one. Jet pass to Derek Pitts III, and look at the speed from him around the outside and in for 6 to take a lead for the Generals. But Lee would continue to work their way down the field. Isaiah Vanderberg with a first down for Lee, and then Jerome Jackson caps off the drive with some hard running as Lee would extend a first half lead in a game that was back and forth all night. But in the end, the Generals take the close game 43-40, the final. Another Madison County score here, this one from last night, and this game was a sneaky good matchup between Ardmore and Madison Academy. The Golden Tigers traveled well to face the Mustangs, but a second half comeback would be the difference as the Mustangs take this one 34-20 to cap off a 9-1 season.
Well, let's head to Tanner, where the Rattlers had a tune-up game before their playoff run begins. It's Tanner and Waterloo. These teams are wasting no time getting things going. Right out of the gates, Tanner takes an early lead. Carl Parham, an arcing pass, finds Skylar Townsend in the end zone to get Tanner on the board. It doesn't take long to add on to that. Later in the first, Parham gets into a little bit of trouble, but he's able to get the ball out there and into the end zone for an Eli Orr score. That puts Tanner up 14-zip just 10 minutes into the game, and they would continue to dominate. Alex Guster, the defense buster. He rushes the ball 60 yards for the third Tanner touchdown of the night. The final in this one, Tanner 42, Waterloo 16. So let's take a look at some more action tonight. Winston County dominates in its matchup against Falkville. Meanwhile, Pisgah takes a 27 win over Douglas.
And some more scores. Brindley Mountain in action against DAR last night. The Patriots taking the easy win, while New Hope won a shootout against R.A. Hubbard last night, 47-38. They finished their season 4-6.
All right, let's take a look at some more scores from tonight. We head to Lexington, where the Golden Bears were hosting Rogers. Lexington falls in that one 21-13, while we had a battle between Colbert Heights and Wilson. The Wildcats take it 14-6. All right, let's go ahead and take our second time out of the show, but we have plenty more action coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Coming up next, we take you through the best matchup of the week, probably a Lauderdale County rivalry between two unbeaten schools as Brooks took on Lauderdale County last night.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on Way 31. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. You're watching Big Game Friday night on Way 31. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. We had a great night of high school football tonight, but last night was just as busy, including a matchup between two unbeaten schools.
Yeah, that's right. Undefeated Lauderdale County on the road taking on undefeated Brooks on Thursday night. This one was all defense in the first quarter. We'll pick it up. Jalen Bird on the Tiger carry here, but he's got nowhere to go. Carson Wheeler with the big stop for Brooks. Lauderdale County would be forced to punt, and on that drive, things just don't go well. Bird can't secure the snap. He's forced to just eat it as the Lions force a turnover on downs. No one can seem to get anything going in the first, so it's still tied at 0 when the Lions finally get rolling. Tell me if you heard this one before. Kyler Mertz to Canute Wood for a Brooks touchdown. The lethal duo do it again as the Lions take a 7-0 lead. They finish their season a perfect 10-0 after a 25-16 win over Lauderdale County. We were able to meet up with head coach Brad Black after the game.
You know, we had some implications of that game, an undefeated season, county championship kind of stuff that we do here locally. But I mean, what a football game. I mean, I was super proud to be a part of that. Lauderdale County has a great football team. Coach Mason and his staff do a great job. And I told somebody last night in an interview, I watched those kids grow up too at Lauderdale County. I know a bunch of those kids, know a bunch of their parents. I went to school with a bunch of their parents. So, you know, it's been really fun to watch those guys grow up too, as well as our kids, you know. And I know a lot of our kids and their kids are really good friends. But, you know, last night was what an unbelievable football game for sure.
So how about we head out to the Sand Mountain for this next one? North Sand Mountain snuck into the playoffs this season, taking on another playoff team in Sylvania. We jump out, the Rams up 1. Preston Bates on the handoff, and he has his eyes on the sideline. He'll get there, but not without a fight, carrying some defenders with him. Now in position to strike, Brody Smith drops back and has all the time in the world to find Sawyer Hughes. The SWAT won't stop this one, and the Rams pad their lead. But they're still not done. Bates again looking for the sideline, and once he's there, he's hard to stop, rumbling all the way down to the 9 before he's finally taken down. Hughes would finish the job on this drive, and the Rams take this one 40-19. Staying in the region, Plainview finishes its season with a matchup against Glencoe, and it's the Bears that take the matchup, while at Geraldine, the Bulldogs were hosting a winless Crossville team, and the Bulldogs take the commanding victory.
All right, well, let's head to the Shoals for our last game of the regular season. Shed a spotlight on Vina before we go. The Red Devils looking for their first win of the year, taking on Tharptown. And after a scoreless first quarter, we jump to the second quarter where Tharptown has the ball. Quarterback Hunter Reynolds hands it off to Aiden Villalobos, and he finds a hole and takes off. And this man has some wheels. He finds the end zone for a Tharptown score. Nobody could catch him. And then on the ensuing kickoff, Vina's Malachi Fletcher gained some yards here to set up Vina with some good field position. And they would capitalize it with a big play here. Vina quarterback Chance Kennedy drops back, throws one deep to Jackson Landers, and it's a Red Devil first down. But in the end, in this one, it would be Tharptown who ends their regular season with a win at home, 28-0. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up the 2021 high school football regular season.
But stay where you're at, because coming up, we preview Auburn's top 25 matchup against Ole Miss and leave you with your big game Friday night top lights.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on Way 31. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night. You're watching Big Game Friday night on Way 31. Let's go, Rose! It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. We've talked high school football. How about we turn our attention to the college gridiron now?
Tomorrow, the Auburn Tigers are back in action after their bye week, and they welcome in Mississippi for a top 25 showdown. Let's bring Antonio Macbeth back in to preview this matchup. Antonio, what do you got?
Well, I mean, Ole Miss obviously being a top 10 team, they've got a really good offense, Matt Corral, Lane Kiffin. However, Auburn has home Bo Nix. That's right, Bo Nix at home usually performs better, and that's funny to say because he's coming off his best performance ever on the road against Arkansas. And you also just run the football. If you're Auburn, keep Ole Miss's offense off the field by doing what you do best. Run it with Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter, and this will be a good football game.
And of course, don't forget tomorrow marks the Magic City Classic against Alabama A&M and Alabama State at Legion Field. That should be a good matchup as well.
Yeah, and before we go, we just want to take a moment to thank all of our radio sponsors for making this show possible, including Fun 92.7 and the Ump Sports Radio. And we also want to thank everyone here at Way 31 that helped make this show possible this year, from our shooters braving the elements tonight specifically to the producers and everyone in production for making this possible. And of course, a big thank you to you for tuning in tonight and all year.
But the fun is just beginning. The playoffs begin next week. Can't wait. But we will leave you the same way we do every week with our big game, Friday night, Top Lights. Good night, everybody.
Watching a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.